Final Fantasy Tactics on the PS1 as played on the PlayStation 3. We're on to the good stuff now. Watch this. We've gotten past the tutorial areas. We're now ready to play the game in earnest. And that means we get to look at a few things. Let me start with the Brave story here. Just let me go back a bit, yeah. Formation, Brave story, tutorial. I can do the tutorial, I guess. But first things first, option. Whoops. Triangle. Circle. Okay, I thought I already did this. I was never able to figure out what it actually did. Well, I already did most of this. I don't have to worry about that. Tutorial. Circle. Okay, a few basics. Formation, I'm not worried about. Status, we'll get to that later. Job training, learn ability, online help. This music's pretty good too. Battle. Battlefield control, battle flow. Okay, let's establish some basics. We'll get to some combat in a moment. Very shortly, trust me. Battlefield control. It's loading. Give it a second. We don't have fast loading on this system. Fair warning. PS2 tried it and they failed miserably. At least on some games it did. So, better off not using it at all. Oh, it's a pre-rendered video? That sucks. Okay, it's not that bad. Yes, music's pretty good. Where do they use this? Yeah, this is the regular tutorial music. So L1 and R1, L2 changes the field to high. Okay, yeah, we've already established that in the last video, the research stream. Okay, let's practice. Talk about practice. Press the start button. You score by pressing the square button. And by pressing the start button. Yeah, so I'm holding down the square button. Yeah, so that's the easiest way to scroll without just going square by square. Okay. Press start button to end. Battlefield operation cursor. Okay, yeah, in the upper right hand corner of the screen is the cursor height. Yep. Use the rest button to move the cursor. Close the menu with the X button and try moving the cursor. That makes sense. X closes menu, circle confirms. Okay, close the menu. There's the height. So we're going upstairs. And now you can see... Oh, here's the fun part. Watch this. See this? Right there. See? The cursor is switching floors because this is a bridge. In fact, they're probably going to explain this later. You see how the cursor switches between the two levels? That's how you know that there's something underneath this bridge. So you can always choose one level or the other, depending on how you approach the square. But this one right here will simply switch between the two levels. There is an option on the menu to actually adjust that. Let me see if I can find it. Let's see. Triangle. Probably won't let me do it from here. That's okay. Areas you can't enter due to geographical problems. Ground cursors are normally blue, but those restricted panels will appear red. Is the cursor moving information together? I didn't need to know any of this when I played the PSP version. I'm just kind of reviewing it. Here's where it's a more layered structure. The bridge area where you can... By the way, I think this might be the only PS1 game I'm going to play in this channel. Because I think I pretty much sold all my other ones. No, wait, that's right. I already did my Tales of Destiny 2 videos. And I'm not going to play that game anymore. I've already established that game is done. I just got sick of grinding through a game with kind of mushy combat. It's an action RPG. It's not particularly tight, so I can't recommend that game anymore. I would have recommended it maybe 10 years ago because it seemed really interesting to play a game with that level of control as far as combos and stuff. But once you turn on the manual mode, you begin to realize that the game kind of falls apart. Especially in combat, it becomes button mashier than I'd like. So on harder difficulty levels, it's just annoying. So really the only real strategy is to grind, and that hurts. A game like that, it hurts. Back when the game was $10, it might have been a reasonable RPG to play, even though the story's not great. But that game, change cursor speed with the option 3, yeah, that. Move the cursor by pressing the stop. Okay, I'm not going to do that. Can't with no units. Hold the start button down. Okay. Oh, pfft. So complicated. Established. But Tales of Destiny 2 is like a $200 game now, so it's actually kind of ridiculous. So no, I'm not going to recommend that game because that game is not worth $200. I mean, come on. If you look at the marketplace, look, you can buy 10 great RPGs for $200. You could buy a freaking console for $200. If you have a PC, you can literally buy like 20 of the best RPGs ever made on Steam or on GOG for $200. So the idea of spending $200 for just one game is completely and utterly absurd. Makes absolutely no sense whatsoever. So again, I'll explain that later if I end up doing a video about expensive video games I have no intention of buying ever again for the rest of my life. They'll probably end up selling games. I have no problem selling games to buy, games that I will play. Because I'm not going to play Tales of Destiny 2 anymore. I got that out of my system. I made videos. Any inkling I might have to play that game again is pretty much done. Don't get me started on that. Okay, battle flow. We'll check a few more tips and then go to the setup menu, and then get into a quick combat session to end the video. So there will be combat here, but this is an RPG, so let's see what some of our options are. We aren't going to do all the tutorial stuff in one video. I'm not going to waste your time with that stuff. In fact, I'm probably going to do a better job of explaining it than they will, because I'll be more concise. May I begin my lecture? Yeah, 5 is the maximum. Yeah, we gotta mix it up a bit. Guest units here. We're not worried about guest units. Yes, the monk. We already know Ong from Avatar. So who's the female? Yeah, we'll call her Korra. We'll call her Korra. These units have their own ideas. Yeah, we know. That's already been established. We'll definitely be getting a few monks later in later videos because monks they're my main. If you're not a monk, you're challenging yourself. But if you got a monk, you got a lot of heat. You can heal yourself, you can heal others, you can attack enemies from a distance without taking any damage. You're basically a walking killer. I mean, you're a one-man army. You don't need chemists. You don't need any of that crap. You just level up your monks and you're ready to go, man. They really should have nerfed them. They're really OP. They should have made their projectile attacks a lot, more costly to use, or they should have made their healing attacks again more costly or just less effective. So they really needed to be nerfed. Okay, awaken please before one of the two. Yeah. Status, the unit's persistent consistent. Yeah, status. We did that in the last video. We're going to need to know this later, obviously, because there will be situations in training where we'll need to train certain skills. We'll need to equip certain weapons later on. In fact, that becomes more important during the pre-battle, where we prepare our units for fighting. We want to know who's carrying what. This is only really useful if you are sort of auto-leveling your characters, like I said. There's a trick that the FAQs have mentioned on the internet, the frequently asked questions. There is a method where you can auto-level up your characters by equipping, I think, chemists or mathematicians or something. And There's a loop that you get into where you don't fight the enemies, you just kind of fight each other. Like you whittle an enemy down, then you just let it run away. Then you just kind of heal everybody on screen over and over again, and then attacking them and healing them repeatedly. And you can do that for like several hours, and then all of your characters on screen will be massively OP. We are not going to use auto battle, which is good for us. Like I said, unless I can, program it properly to go into a loop, we will not be doing auto battling. As you saw in my last video, when a character is KO'd, the countdown begins. And then once the countdown begins, you have basically 3 complete turns until that counter's going to count down every turn from 3 to 2 to 1 and then to 0. And if that turn passes with the 0 number on it, they're gone. They turn into a crystal, and they're not coming back. And I picked up a crystal just as my last video ran out of space. The crystal was either learn a new ability or replenish your MP and HP. I was able to learn a throw stone skill just by picking up that crystal from a dead enemy, so that was pretty awesome. But the other dead enemy just left behind a HP MP refill that I didn't need, so that was a waste. I kind of wish there was some other reward for that, but I guess they didn't want to make the leveling up process too overpowering. You don't want to make like those crystals right there. You don't want to earn a skill every time you pick up a crystal. That might be too much. The other problem is that you don't know what you're going to get until you pick it up. So you're better off letting a weaker character with no skills pick up that crystal to see what they can earn. Cover allies soon after they die. If everyone in your party dies, it's game over. Yeah. Kill all your enemies, you'll meet the winning condition in the battle. Yeah. Really? I think we're going to do only one more of these. What I want to see is the CT meter. It's going to determine who goes when. Not terribly important if you're a strong character. But again, if you're speed running or if you're dealing with tougher enemies, you kind of want to know who's going to fight and when. Okay, here we go. Move and act won't be as important, so we'll do charge and battle before we move on. Let's see, what do I remember? I remember doing a lot of leveling up on the bus with my PSP. Lots of walking back and forth, practicing my the most efficient way of leveling up my characters. And I was able to make it work. But if you're not into that OCD micromanaging BS, then you don't have to level up that much. I was just doing it because I was experimenting with different skill sets. Experimenting with different jobs, because if you level up a certain character, or you level up a certain job, then you, If you level up a certain character, or you level up a certain job, then you'll unlock other jobs that can be leveled up. And of course, you can learn other skills in those jobs. So the only way to become a mathematician, for instance, is to level up another job, a lower level job. Maybe I think it's a chemist or something. That's the problem. You have no idea how to create these characters. I don't even think it's in the manual. So the only way to know what you unlock is by doing it, or by going online and cheating and figuring out what the skill tree says. So we'll see what's going on there. Normal surface is allowed to move the value moves. So I'm allowed to move 3 spaces. Like a knight in chess. If the move is 4, then you can move 4 panels. For difference of height difference, the unit can jump vertically the value of a jump. You can also jump horizontal at half the jump value, okay? So if the jump is 3, it can jump 3 vertically and across 1 panel. So it can cross 1 water tile horizontally. Or it can jump 3 levels vertically. Which is cute. If you have to, jump on roofs of houses like you saw in my last video. You can jump on the roofs of houses. Let's see. Heights are figured by the edge close to the panel. Okay, let's go. Oh, okay. Ride the chocobo. Do, 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 do. Let's move to the panel right in front of them, huh? Yes, it's pretty basic. If you don't know how to do this by now, well, the game had to explain a few more concepts, like jumping and moving. So I guess they had to explain this at some point. The enemy with a weapon. Well, again, I would not be here if I didn't know how to attack. Actually, I didn't have to attack in the last 2 videos. I just did. There we go. Under the target are green, yellow, flashing yellow, green panels. That'll tell me what's actually going to be attacked. Ooh, he has a counterattack. Ooh, we'll get to that later. Basically, if you attack this enemy, there's a chance they'll counter. And that's always a risk in games like this. Like, Tactics Ogre was a very serious problem. So, which is why archers were massively OP in that game. Because if you attacked an enemy from a distance, they could never counter you. Or at least I don't know if they ever could, unless they were like... I don't know if an archer could counter an archer. But basically, if you had archers, you can just kind of whittle away at enemies from a distance, and they couldn't attack you. So attacking became less harmful to you, because you could reduce the risk of being countered, which is great. No one countered me in the last 2 tutorial areas, but they can counter you now, and they'll warn you if that's possible. Spells affect a larger area. Stats of the 2 appear at the bottom of the screen. Yeah, like that green flashing panel underneath the enemy right there. That's where I attack. Some characters, like monks, have spinning attacks. That will attack all those colored squares you see. So those would all be green. Because that's the attack area for a specific monk spell that I'll end up showing you later. But for the purpose of this video, we're just doing straight-on attacks. Let's see. 18 aura level experience is usually shown. Yeah. 15 level experience, though. The HP is the expected damage, and to the right is the attack success percentage. Of course, last time you saw me whiff on a 95% attack. I mean, it's the opposite of... Actually, that is XCOM. You'll go 98 and then whiff. Also, the target has a reaction ability set. Reaction will appear. Bottom of its status. Make the effects and select the right target. There are a few things that will affect that attack percentage. Brave, Faith, and Zodiac sign compatibility. That was the thing I was mentioning in the earlier video. Brave affects the power of unarmed attacks. Okay. And the reaction performing. Okay. But I am armed. So, maybe from monks that's important. Reaction performing percent. Faith affects the damage success by spells. Okay. So melee's for barehanded attacks, like from monks. Faith is for mages and such. If the faith is high, the power of fire 2 increases. And the success rate of raise increases. Okay. Compatibility of signs affects the amount of damage and the success percentage. The more compatible, the greater the damage. So, like, a Capricorn male, like me, attacks a female Cancer. That's the most compatible. If I attack a Cancer male, that's the least compatible and I'll do less damage. I guess that doesn't seem to make sense, but it means the opposite of what you think. If we're incompatible, the percentage goes down. If we're very compatible, then yeah, it's going to be super effective. So your attacks are super effective if you're super compatible. I guess that's what they're talking about. Yeah, see? The less compatible you are, the smaller the damage and the lower success rate of spells. That whole Capricorn system is completely daft, by the way. It almost never played a role in any of my combat. Like I said in my earlier video. If you grind enough, then the Capricorn, then the astrology system is complete garbage. It's a complete waste of time. It nerfs your attacks a little bit, but for the most part, it's completely worthless. I've never lost a battle in the first 2/3 of the game due to an incompatibility issue, and I almost never accounted for compatibility when I recruited characters. Nor did I spend any time worrying about compatibility while I picked people for a fight. The game never punished me for being incompatible because my characters are so massively strong going into those battles that it never mattered. So I can fairly say after, 80-some hours of gameplay on the PSP and the PS1, the compatibility system is pretty much worthless for normal play. I guess if you want to play like super optimally, if you want to power level, if you want to speed run, maybe that matters. But for just getting through the game and just sort of playing it like, playing it normally, that's not an issue. So just a heads up on that. Again, maybe other people, they play the game a certain way so that they don't have to grind so much. Maybe then compatibility matters. But you never know what the compatibility of a character is going to be until you get into the fight, right? I don't know if the compatibility is static. Like if you enter a battle and lose and then repeat the battle, are the characteristics of the characters the same as far as the astrology signs? I have no idea. The characters in my party are obviously static, but are the enemies different? Do you know before you go into the battle? I have no idea. Maybe the FAQs will explain that. Maybe the YouTube playthroughs will explain that. But this system is there. I can safely say after playing for a few hundred hours, it's worthless. It's basically worthless. So don't worry about that. Just bash people over the head with sticks and you'll be fine. Grind. Get the most useful skills. Attack your enemies from a distance. And beat them over the head with sharp sticks and you'll be fine. So that's going to be me complaining in a future video about mechanics that are completely worthless and do absolutely nothing to make. They make the game needlessly complicated and you can safely ignore them. There are good mechanics in this game. The astrology system is not one of them. Kind of like real astrology. So yeah, your birthday is about as meaningless in this game as it is in real life. But hey, role playing. Maybe in another game, the astrology system might be useful. I just think astrology systems are needlessly complicated. I mean, unless you're a horoscope junkie, I don't know how you're able to keep compatibility charts straight. So I can't see any reason to make any sense out of them. I don't see any reason to waste any time on them in a video game. Come up with a rock, paper, scissors system if you have to. The Capricorn systems with gender biases and gender differentiation. Just way too much to deal with. Although it makes it interesting that you have an RPG like this where male and female characters are kind of split equally. Because the game pretty much requires parties to be split up equally among the genders. At least, they seem to be in combat. You saw my previous video, there were male and female players on both sides of the screen. Actually, I think all the enemies were male, I think. But if you want to build a certain kind of party, you can. Although, if you want a game where gender differentiation kind of matters, I want to say Dragon's Dogma matters. Because there are some, of course, in the Bethesda RPGs, gender determines certain buffs and bonuses and debuffs for certain skills, like, bartering, things like that. And, of course, attacking people of the opposite gender sometimes. You want that kind of perk, but anyway. I'm babbling. Topic is charge time battles. Okay, we need to know this. Battle progresses as fires move in 4 moments an X. 4 moments an X. AT is determined by a rule. Charge time battle when CT comes around for a charge completed. So whether the charge has been completed by looking at the CT gauge. CT gauge appears under the HP MP on the status. Yep, there it is. Bottom of the screen on the left. You guys' charge reaches 100. You can now move and act. CT charge is done on every unit with the same timing. Okay. Charge amounts differ from one to another. As charge amounts differ, AT order is not uniform. This is actually one of the systems I wanted to come up with when I was working on RPG combat systems. Because I wanted to know if it was possible for me to come up with a system that fast characters have more turns than slow characters. So let's just say, for instance, that the fastest character in a game would be twice as fast as the slowest character. You can set up a discrete simulation timer like this, where the fast character goes up, gets twice as many charge points as the slowest character does, something like that. But anyway, let's move on. Sorry, I'm getting distracted again. Status. Speed is 8. Refer to the left side of the panel in the middle. Say the speed on the lower part. There it is. Charge amount is based on speed. CT is charged by speed value, which means it's faster to finish charging if your speed value is high. If you have a skill that increases your speed, so much the better. Here's an example. Speed for this unit is 9. Oh, real, I thought it was 8. Speed for this one is 6. Ah, sorry, Vivi. Let's see what happens to their CT. Nice. See that this is a good explanation of the system. So I'm glad they did that. Still scoreless in this hockey game. Wow. So there we go. Ninja goes first. Go Ninja. Go Ninja, go. Yep. During battle, you won't see the counter. Boo. Which means there's no waiting time for the next AT unit. Remember, higher speed means it's quicker. Because the question is, once they go, does it reset to 0? Does it because remember, that character, that ninja, had a 108. So that's my question. It went from 99 to 108. Does that mean that it carries over after he moves and acts? Or does it reset all the way back to 0? Don't know. Anyway. I'm sure the FAQs have figured that out. Yeah, forget that. There's an easier way to check AT order. And that's, of course, to use the unit list. I wonder if Hoshigami had a system like this. Remember that PS1 game that came out on the DS? In fact, I think the DS version fixed Hoshigami. It's like Hoshigami 1.1. It was apparently an improved version of Hoshigami, which I never got to play very much of, I have to admit. And I want to say I don't think it's worth my time to actually go out and find it. I don't think I'm that interested, really. Of course, I'm at that point in my life where it's like I spend more time playing on home consoles than on the road, because I don't have a 2-hour commute to and from work anymore on a train and a bus. And score still scoreless. So wait is for where you decide whether or not to move or act in both ends. Normally AT ends charging before the next AT begins, but when you end with wait, the charge begins from 40 or 20. Ooh, see? Sometimes it's worth it to not act or move. Just sit there. If you wait, neither moving nor acting, charging begins from 40. Okay, that's cute. If you wait after moving or acting, charging begins from 20. Okay, so you move, but you don't do anything. You start at 20. Or you stand still and you throw a stone at somebody. So that's cute. That's why the AT order is expected. Controlling the AT order by wait for a better situation can be a good strategy. Yeah, bait them. I don't have Growlancer anymore. If I still have that game, I'll probably dig that one up, because that game had a lot of interesting systems as far as the charge system goes, but it's kind of cumbersome. I'll be the first to admit that. There were a few situations early in the game where it's like characters just sat around doing nothing, because it was better that way. Just baiting enemies. Okay, so we're done with that. Well, that's everything. Okay, that's battle, though. Tips, compatibility. Watch this. Oh, no. Ugh. Capricorn. Aries. No, it's Aquarius, Taurus, Gemini, Cancer. Yeah. So Capricorn, here's the thing. Press select. Okay, so there's no legend. Okay, again, Capricorn. They are compatible with Taurus and Libra. They are not compatible with Libras. Why do I even bother? Enough. Charge time. Magic CT increase with speed. Okay. See, this is easy enough. Geomancy we'll get to later. Faith. Yeah, high faith. Yeah, little faith, power magic. Yeah. Where's the brave? That one. Brave. Brave effects. Reaction abilities like the counter tackle. Attack power of bare hand or some of the weapons. Besides, if Brave becomes too low or the units lose bravery, the click will quit the battle and shun the party. So I can lower some. There are status spells. There are spells that lower bravery. I forget who have them, but there are some. Anyway, organization. Formation? Okay, we'll do this later. Yeah, we're going to do this on our own. Can I quit this? I can't quit this. Anyway, we're going to go here in a second. This is actually the screen where I spend nearly half the game some days. Because I'm literally just, rifling through the skill tree, just looking to see what I can level up and such. You can go nuts here. I know I did. And this is when you know you're in deep. When you spend so much time on the screen, you're trying to figure out, okay, how can I level up this character most efficiently? What kind of character will this person be? Who do I have? What job do I have the most of already? Do I need to guide some of my party members towards other jobs or that kind of thing? Changeable jobs. Yep. So if I don't want him to be a squire anymore, I can have him be a chemist. Now, why would I want him to be a chemist instead of a squire? Because if you level up a certain job, you will unlock other jobs, which will allow them to learn other skills from those other jobs and bring them over to other jobs. So you can learn the throw stone skill as a squire, then carry that job to another job. So if I switch from a squire to a chemist, I'll have the throw stone skill. And I'll double check that to make sure it's still the way it works the way I think it does. But like I said, I was usually a monk because I just like, leveling up my projectile attacks. And of course my my healing skills, which are incredibly awesome. So I never needed a magician. Because all I have is an army of monks. And maybe a few like archers and knights, just for the heck of it. Okay, press the triangle button, that's fine. Get in formation. Item lets you equip and arrange items you have. I'm almost going to run out of time, am I not? How am I doing? Okay, I got 10 minutes. I was stalling. Change job. Yep. I'm changing jobs for your allies rolls for the next battle. Of course, unless you're doing random battles. As you wander around the overworld, there are random encounters. They're annoying as crap, but heck. And they level up with you, so fair warning. I've never removed a unit, so I don't know what to tell you. Maybe I've removed a few beasts that joined me, but I almost never remove units. Level job. Yeah, it's cute. Max HP. That's interesting. If you want to level up a particular character, you can sort them by level or max HP. So you know who to level. You're min-maxing your party, basically. If that's how you want to play it. But if you can only carry 5 characters, I mean, you can argue that you really only have to level up 5 people. Yeah, we'll talk about that chocobo egg down there in a second. Yeah, we're not going to do that. Return. Okay. Get in formation. Ah, this soundtrack. Dude, I spent so much time in the screen. This music is ingrained in my brain for crying out loud. It also happens to be one of the greatest songs ever made, so... If I can sample this music later, you'll hear it in another video. But this song is a song you'll definitely be hearing a lot of. So it's a good thing that it's awesome. Okay, what will I be doing next? I'm a squire. I don't want him to be a squire. Do I want to be a knight or an archer? We'll figure that out later. What does he have? Accumulate. I thought he had the skill already. It was just story based. So I've already learned to yell. So I need to gain 300 points. Yeah, I might want to learn counter tackle eventually. Gain JP up. Yeah, I'm definitely going to want to learn that skill because that's a skill I can use to increase my other skills. In fact, why can't I learn this now? Just a second. Change ability. Let's see. Learn. Squire. So you can throw a stone. You can heal. What's this heal spell? Cover from a normal status. Okay, so it cancels darkness, silence, and potion. Whatever. But I don't want that. I definitely want this one. Gain JP ups. That will allow me to increase my job points far more, far more quickly. Some of these other things like move +1 are cute. But watch what I do here. Watch me switch parties. Actually, I'm going to switch jobs. Change job. Chemist, Knight, Archer. We'll go Archer. Okay, so now we are an Archer. Racing. Ability. Learn. Squire. I've learned the gain JP up, so that means I keep it. Let me confirm. Set. Yeah, here. Yeah, see? So this is a Squire ability. But since I've learned it, I can carry it over to my Archer ability. So that's definitely handy. So no matter what job I have, as long as I have this ability chosen and set, then I can use it with other jobs. And I can use this job, battle skill. Guts. Do I want guts? Well, I haven't learned any guts, have I? Learn. Squire. Yeah, that's what it is. Accumulate. So all I have here is wish, so I haven't learned anything else yet. Have I learned anything for knight? I'm not a knight, but I can still learn, right? Okay, I'm not using charge. I don't charge. In fact, why am I even an archer? I want to be a monk. So the question is, how do I become a monk? Equip crossbow. I might need to read up on that. Speed save. What's this? Raise speed. Okay. Oh, trigger. Oh, it's a counter move. Okay, so screw that. Equip crossbow. So that means if you learn this, that means any job can learn to equip a crossbow. Concentrate. Cannot evade your attacks. Okay, but that's a counter move. It's not counter. It's a refresh, whatever you call that. Jump. That's a movement skill. What do they call these? Set. They don't have a name. Okay. So these don't have names. Abilities, that's a counter skill, that's a movement skill. I don't know what you call that. Maybe it's a status skill. Okay, so chemist. I already have a potion. Well, I don't care about potions at this point. Throw item. The ability to throw an item, even if not a chemist, which is great. And be able to throw further, which is really great. Maintenance. Not that. Maintenance. Equipped items are immune to break tech. Oh, yeah, because some people have, I think, knights. Someone has a skill that allows you to break the weapon they're carrying, or break something that they're equipped, break an equipped item. Now this is cute. Find any hidden items you're just. That's kind of random. I don't know how I feel about that. That might be a skill that you grab and equip for somebody else who's just gonna roam the map looking for stuff. But I don't know if that. It's definitely not important, but it might be handy to have if you're that kind of gamer, I guess. But let me figure out what skills I actually want to learn. Head break. Yeah, see, you can equip an item. You can equip a helmet. You can break armor. You can break their weapon. If you're a knight, which is cute. Parry attacks with the equipped weapon. But if I'm a monk, it's not going to matter. Equip armor regardless of job. Equip shield. So if you're a monk and you have armor, that might be great. That means you're even more OP than you otherwise would be. I guess I want to be a squire to see what else I learn. Because I'm definitely going to want to accumulate and heal, I suppose. No. I'm going to want... What does dash do? Just a melee attack? Yeah, run into the enemy with the body. Accumulate is interesting because you can just level up without doing anything else. You can just stand still and level up without doing anything, which is cute. I guess I'll be a squire, so I'll switch my job back. My clothes never changed, by the way, which I think is cute. So I'm a squire now. Oh yeah, my faith and bravery at levels were at 70, so that never changed. Okay. For some reason, I thought they changed depending on the skill that you had. Can't be a priest though. I wonder how to be a priest. Or a wizard. They'll probably unlock later. Okay. Order unit? No, I'm not going to order. Alright, so we're good here. Pretty much. Next. So we have a bunch of squires. I think I might want one knight. I don't know if I think I kept switching jobs. I wanted to see who learned what. Then I switched immediately to that other job once I figured out what they learned. So a few of these people I'm going to bring into combat with these random enemies so I can level them up. In fact, let me do that. R2, level experience. So now they're sorted by level. Actually, let me make sure I sort them. Order unit by level. There we go. So the weakest guys are up here. I need to level up severely. Isn't this guy... This guy's a guess. There's no reason to really worry about him. He's pretty brave, too, but anyway. Let's see. I'm running out of time, so let's see what else I can do here. Because I'm not going to be able to do combat, but that's okay. I got a chance to at least experiment a bit with this particular part of the metagame. Because the metagame in this game is pretty nuts. Okay, I thought I sorted these guys by level. Order unit, level. Now they're sorted by level, just not by experience. Level 2, 18 points, 36, 38. Don't worry about it. So my weakest guys are on the bottom. Pretty much. Over to the right and on the bottom. So who's going to level up first? So we have a squire, chemist. I can recruit some people later on, but I want to put at least one. I have two chemists. So I'll keep them in case I need them. Squires, I don't need a bunch more squires. So I'll pick one of these ladies here. Janique. These random name generators are kind of cool. Okay, so I will switch her job. What is she? A level 1 squire and a level 1 chemist. And she is both. But she's weak in everything right now, so...